Hi there, in this tutorial we will learn how to create a IT Square logo in Adobe Photoshop. It's a simple logo and it's especially using for technological firm. So let's take a look how we will create a IT Square logo in Adobe Photoshop. So at first we have to create a new document and therefore we have to click this file menu and from there we will go for new option. Here is the pop-up for creating our new document and we will use width 6 inches and height 4 inches and let me click OK. So here is our document and at first we have to create a rectangle shape and therefore we have to use the rectangle tools. So here is the rectangle tools and let's draw a rectangle shape and please make sure the stroke for rectangle shape will be 3 pixels. Okay, so let me draw a rectangle shape in here. Okay, and we will not use this black color as our fill color. We will change it a little bit later, but before that I want to make a rounded shape for this 2 upper corner and therefore I have to increase the radius of corner. So let me increase the radius of corner for I think 50 pixel will be better. Okay, 50 pixel for left corner radius and 50 pixel for right corner radius. Okay, right now we will change the fill color of this rectangle shape. Therefore we have to right click on these rectangle layers. We have to right click on here and then we will go for blending options. Here is the pop-up for creating our blending option and we will use a gradient overlay as like before. So here is the gradient overlay option and we will not use this gradient. We want to change the gradient. I think red color will be better and inside the color folder you will get different type of presets. So here is the red folder and let's pick a color. So here is a color. I think this one looks good and let me click OK and OK. And right now we will convert this layer into a smart object and it's quite simple. You just have to right click on here, then you will get this convert to smart object option and you can take a look. This layer is converted into a smart object and I want to rename this layer. I want to write a name. You just have to double click on here and let me write a name, eye shape. Okay, eye shape. Cool. Right now we will use ellipse tool to draw a round shape and therefore you have to right click on this rectangle tools, then you will get this ellipse tool. So you just have to click this ellipse tool and we will use an orange color for our fill color. So let's pick the color. So here is the color picker option and here is the option for picking color. I think orange color will be better. Okay, looks good and I'm selecting OK. Okay, so let me zoom in this image. Here is the view menu and here is the zoom in option. Let me go for once again, then we will have the clear view. Okay, so right now I will draw a round shape inside this rectangle shape. Okay, looks good and you can keep this stroke for 3 pixel and let me minimize the properties and let me press enter button from my keyboard. Okay, looks really good and let me change the layer name. Here is the new layer created for ellipse tools, which we created a rounded shape and I want to rename this layer. You just have to double click on here and let me write a name for this round circle Let me write I shape circle. I shape circle. Okay, right now we will draw a Wi-Fi icon in here, as because we are creating a logo for IT Square, and IT Square is an information and technological firm. So therefore we have to put some technological icon or shapes inside our logo, and therefore we will draw a Wi-Fi shapes in here. So let's do that. To draw a Wi-Fi shape, you have to use custom tools. So we have to use the custom shape tools, and you just have to right click on this ellipse tool with your mouse or right button, then you will get this custom shape tool, and here is the shapes. So here is the shapes, you just have to click on here, and here is the Wi-Fi shapes under random shapes. If you don't have these random shapes on your software, then you have to import these shapes on your Photoshop software. And already I shown you before that how you have to import the shapes on your software, and let me show you once again. Here is the option, you just have to click on here, then you will get this import shapes option. And inside our exercise file, in our logo design folder, you will get this shape folder, and here is the random shape CSH file. You just have to click it, and you just have to click on load option, then you will get these shapes on your software, and it's quite simple. So we will pick this Wi-Fi shapes, and this random shapes CSH file I downloaded from Shapes for a Free website, and let me draw the Wi-Fi shapes here. So therefore we have to pick these Wi-Fi shapes, so you just have to pick this Wi-Fi shapes, and let's draw the Wi-Fi shapes here. So let me, and before drawing the Wi-Fi shape, you have to make sure the fill color of shape should be orange, I mean the similar with this rounded circle. So let me draw the Wi-Fi shapes here. Okay, looks good. And I want to place this wireless layer under the eye shape layer. Okay, now it really looks good. These shapes we are using instead of I alphabet, and as we create a IT Square logo, so right now we have to write T alphabet, and we will do that with the rectangle shape, and therefore we have to use rectangle tools. So here is the custom shape tool, you just have to right click on here, and then you will get this rectangle tool. Okay, so let me draw a okay, here is the tab, and it will be used for creating T alphabet. And let me draw once again a rectangle shapes in here. Okay, cool. So right now we have to change the fill color, and we will use the same gradient inside this T alphabet. So let's do that. We have to use a gradient overlay using the blending option. So here is the rectangle layer, you just have to right click on there, then you will get this blending options. And from gradient overlay, here is the gradient overlay, we will use the same gradient which we used for eye shape, and we have to click OK, and you can take a look. This gradient overlay is added to the rectangle layer, and you just have to copy this layer style. You just have to right click on here, then you will get copy layer style option. So you have to click this copy layer style option and we will paste it for upper rectangle shape. So let's do that. You just have to right click on this rectangle one. You just have to right click on this rectangle one layer, then you will get paste layer style option. So you have to click this paste layer style option and you can take a look. The layer style is applied for this rectangle shape, and right now we will convert this two layer into a smart object. So you have to select both two layers. You have to select rectangle 1 and rectangle 2 by pressing Ctrl or Command button from your keyboard, and then you have to right click on here. Then we will go for convert to smart object option, and you can take a look. Our both layers are converted into smart object, and we have to rename this layer. So you just have to double click on here and let me write T shape. Okay, so our I and T alphabet is complete, and right now we will write the square text and we will use it with our type tool. So let's use the type tool first. So here is the type tool, and please make sure we will use the ethnocentric font for this logo, and this ethnocentric font already given in our exercise file. So at first we have to write square and we will use this gradient as our fill color. So let me write square first. So here is the text, and let me decrease the size of font. I think 24 point will be better. So let me write square. Okay, so here is the square, and let me click this tick mark, and you have to press Ctrl or Command T from your keyboard, and we will scale this square text in here, and let's scale it properly. Okay, looks good, and you have to press enter button from your keyboard, or you can click this tick mark in here. Okay, so right now we will change the text color and we will use this gradient for this square text, and therefore you just have to right click this text layer and then we will go for blending options, and from the gradient overlay we will use the same gradient, and let me click OK. But we will add a stroke for this text because this square text is really looks quite simple, and therefore we will use a stroke on this text, and therefore we have to click this effects option, and here is the stroke option. Okay, so here is the pop-up for modify our stroke, and please make sure the position will be outside, blending mode will be normal, and fill color should be black, and the size we will reduce. Right now it's in 25 pixels, but we will reduce the size. So let's reduce the size. Okay, 10 pixels looks good, and let me click OK. Okay, so our square text part is done, and right now we will write the tagline. So let's do that. Before writing the tagline, we have to convert this layer into smart object. The square text layer, you just have to right click on here, then we will go for convert to smart object option. Okay, you can take a look, it's converted into smart object, and right now we will draw another rectangle shape, and under the rectangle shape we will write our tagline. So let's use this rectangle tools, and please make sure the fill color for this rectangle shape should be orange. So you can take a look, it's in orange color. So let me draw the rectangle shape. Okay, looks good. And let me scale it properly. You just have to press Ctrl or Command T from your keyboard, and let me hit enter button from my keyboard. Okay, looks really good. And right now we will type our tagline, and therefore we have to use our type tool. So here is the type tool. So let's write the tagline, but we have to reduce the font size. So here is the option. We will go for 14 point. Okay, so let me write the tagline. We will write beyond technology. Okay, beyond technology, and we have to reduce the font size once again. So let's select the entire text by pressing Ctrl or Command A, and let's reduce the font size. Let's come for 10 point. Okay, so let me click this tick mark, and we will scale it properly by pressing Ctrl or Command T. So let's scale it properly. Okay, that's good. Let me place a little bit upper. Okay, cool. So here is the tick mark. Okay, right now we will change the font color, and we will use the same gradient for this beyond technology text, and therefore you have to right click on here, then we will go for blending option, and as like before, gradient overlay and same gradient. Okay, and we will use a thin stroke, and therefore we have to click this effects option, stroke, and we have to reduce the pixel for stroke. I think 6 pixel will be better, or it's quite bigger. Let's go for 4 pixel. Okay, looks really much better, and I'm clicking OK. And we have to convert this beyond technology text into smart object. So let's right click on here, convert to smart object. Okay, cool. So this is our IT Square logo, and right now we will place this logo into a 3D glass mockup, 3D Windows glass mockup, and then we will get the realistic view of this logo. So let's do that. We have to open our exercise file. So here is the file menu, and here is the open option. So inside our logo design folder, you will get this mockup folder, then you will get this 3D glass window logo mockup. You have to open this PSD file. You just have to select this file and then click open. So here is the mockup file, and we have to open this your logo layer. So you just have to double click on this your logo layers thumbnail, and here is the file where we have to place our logo, and you just have to turn off this preview logo layer. So let me turn off this preview logo layer, and you can take a look. It's a transparent background, and therefore we have to make our background transparent of our logo. So let's get back to our logo. Here is the logo, and we have to make transparent background of this logo, and therefore we have to turn off the background layer. So let's find the background layer. So here is the background layer, and we have to turn off this background layer. Okay, looks good. And we have to select this entire layers. So let me select with entire layers. Okay, you can select entire layers by pressing shift button in your keyboard, and you have to select the top layers, and by pressing shift you have to select the bottom layers. So you can take a look, all the layers got selected, and we will use the move tool. So here is the move tool, and we have to drag and drop this logo. So let me drag this logo, drag, and we will place our logo on this layer. You just have to click OK. Okay, so here is our logo and we have to scale it properly. So to scale it, we have to press Ctrl or Command T. So let's press Ctrl or Command T from our keyboard and let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay, looks good. And then you can press Enter button on your keyboard. Okay, looks good. Now we have to save this layer file, so therefore we have to click File menu and here is the Save option. Please make sure you have to click Save. You don't have to click Save As. You have to click this Save option. So let me click Save. It will take a little more time. Okay, done. It's saved and let's take a look the output of this logo in our 3D Glass Windows mockup file. So here is the mockup file and here is the output view. So let's zoom in the image. So here is the view menu and here is the zoom in option. Okay, so this is the preview of our logo and an effect is applied on here, and if you want to get the actual color of this logo, then you have to turn off the effect. So you have to open the effect folder in our layer panel. So here is the layer panels, here is the effect, and you have to turn off this effect layer. So let me turn off the effect layer and here is the actual view of our logo and here is the actual color. So this is really awesome and it's quite simple, but it's really awesome. So you have to try minimum 3 or 4 times by watching this tutorial, or if you have any question regarding this tutorial how to create IT Square logo, then you can write in our comment box. I will answer your question. So see you in next lesson. Ta-ta.